I'm Christine Clayton-Stroh, Secretary of the Board of Directors for Women Aware. Thank you for joining us during Domestic Violence Awareness Month for our Candlelight Vigil. Tonight, we remember victims and honor survivors of abuse and the people who care for them. It is my honor to represent Women Aware, which has served individuals and families in Middlesex County who have been affected by domestic violence for 41 years. Tonight, we are especially proud to be coming to you live from Middlesex County's new Family Justice Center, a safe, welcoming space that breaks down the barriers between survivors and the resources they need. To open our program, I welcome singer-songwriter Sami Stevens from Music for All Seasons, who will perform songs of hope and inspiration as part of our vigil. Music for All Seasons has brought the healing power of music to the residents of Women Aware's Safe House for the past 2 decades. Singer Stevens has toured internationally, performing jazz and classic rhythm and blues, accompanying herself on keyboard.
Hello, I'm Sami Stevens. I am pleased to be here on behalf of Music for All Seasons. This Candlelight Vigil is vitally important as we strive to remember those lives lost to domestic violence. Women Aware not only remembers the victims, but also honors the courageous survivors. And for that reason, I'm honored to be a part of this event. First, it's my pleasure to play for you "Someday We'll All Be Free" by Donny Hathaway. Hang on to the world as it spins around. Just don't let the spin get you down. Things are moving fast. Hold on tight and you will last. Keep your self-respect, your manly pride. Get yourself in gear, keep your stride. Never mind your fear. And brighter days will soon be here. Oh, take it from me, someday we'll all be free. And keep on walking tall. Hold your head up high. Lay your dreams right up to the sky. Sing your greatest song, and you'll keep going on. Yeah, take it from me, someday we'll all be free, free, free.
Thank you, Sami. It is now my privilege to introduce the president of Women Aware's Board of Directors, Diane Palmer. Diane's volunteer service to survivors and their children at Women Aware spans nearly 25 years. Holding a special place in her heart for the youngest survivors, Diane began her work at Women Aware as a children's program volunteer. She then moved on to board service, where she currently holds the leadership post as president. Welcome, Diane.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I am pleased to welcome you to Women Aware's 2021 Virtual Candlelight Vigil. Thank you for joining us. This is a special night for Women Aware, and I thank my fellow committee members for the time they volunteered to make it happen. Christine Clayton-Stroh, Siyan Bradley, and Ellen Schwartz. This is a dark night as we remember victims whose lives were stolen by domestic violence. There is light and hope, however, in honoring victims' families and survivors. Their courage and resilience inspire Women Aware to do the work we do. Our mission is to promote the safety and self-sufficiency of individuals and families affected by domestic violence in Middlesex County. Women Aware's mission continues to be advanced by so many: our administration, staff advocates, Middlesex County partners, county, state, and federal funders, corporate partners, foundations, service organizations, and supporters like you. I also offer special thanks to all the sponsors of tonight's vigil. It is thanks to our partners and to you that Women Aware is here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for survivors and their families. Thank you for recognizing the importance of this evening and taking time to participate.
Thank you, Diane. As our program moves forward, please join me in welcoming Women Aware's Development Director, Susan Dykman.
Good evening. I'd like to offer my thanks to the corporate sponsors who made tonight's program possible. Our platinum sponsor, Bob's Discount Furniture Charitable Foundation. Candlelighting sponsor, Independence Wealth Partners. Gold sponsors, Fresh Ponds Farm, Olympus Construction, Hoagland, Longo, Moran, Dunst, and Dukas, and the Higgins Group. Ally sponsor, Universal Windows Direct of New Jersey, and supporters, Investors Bank, PKF O'Connor Davies, Ray Gun Design, Schechner Lifson Corporation, and Olmec Systems. You too can help make free and confidential services available to survivors. As you experience tonight's program, please consider making a gift to Women Aware if you haven't done so already. You will ensure that our hotline and emergency shelter remain open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, just as they have through the entire pandemic. You will provide the building blocks survivors need to create safe, healthy lives. There are 4 ways to give. Click the donate button on our Give Butter event site, visit womenaware.net and click the donate button. Text to donate at the number on your screen, 202-858-1233, and use code WA2021. Or you can mail a check directly to Women Aware. Please be as generous as you can. Every donation makes a difference. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thanks, Sue. Women Aware's team of advocates serves, innovates, and adapts when it comes to meeting survivors where they are in their journey beyond abuse and helping them move beyond it. Leading this team is Chief Executive Officer Phyllis Yanta, who has advanced the mission of Women Aware for more than 14 years.
Good evening. Tonight we honor those whose lives were taken, those who survived domestic violence, and those who helped them. We do our very best. Throughout the pandemic, Women Aware remained fully operational. Unfortunately, everyone we serve does not survive. And when this happens, our hearts break, not only for the victim, but for the family and friends left behind. Women Aware does not help survivors move beyond abuse alone. Our partners walk alongside of us, sharing both the victories and sorrows. For these, I'm truly grateful. Your commitment, support, and love. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Philly. Now I'm pleased to introduce Siyan Bradley, a member of the Women Aware Board of Directors. Siyan graduated from Keller Graduate School of Management with a master's in business administration degree. He is currently married to his childhood love, Nicole, and they have 2 beautiful daughters and 1 son together. Siyan has been in the avionics field for over 15 years, working at Thales and Avionics.
Full screen.
He enjoys being a faithful and dedicated member of the Cathedral International in Perth Amboy, where Bishop Donald Hilliard Jr. is senior pastor. Siyan currently serves as the young adult ministry leader at the cathedral. In 2006, a tragic event changed the course of Siyan's life forever. His mother was killed by an ex-boyfriend just 3 days after her 42nd birthday. Determined not to allow his mother's death to be in vain, he and his family took up the fight against domestic violence. With the support and backing of his church, Siyan created the Renee J. Bradley Foundation for Domestic Violence. Through the foundation, he works to promote healthy relationships and prevent domestic violence in New Jersey. Siyan?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here with us tonight. It is not only my honor, but it is my pleasure to be with you tonight for this beautiful event. And if I could take 30 seconds of my time just to thank the full team over at Women Aware. And not only just for this wonderful event tonight, but for all the hard work you put in year-round, moving people beyond abuse. You guys are truly special and deserve a huge thank you. And so on behalf of my family and myself, I just wanted to say thank you. Tonight, we come together to remember all those beautiful souls who were taken from us way too early. We remember our loved ones who suffered in silence and paid a heavy price. We honor and we remember them for who they are and what they meant to us, and not for what happened to them. I too stop and remember my beautiful mother, Renee Bradley, tonight. My family lost her 15 years ago. She was betrayed and killed by someone we once trusted, someone we once considered family. That betrayal by someone that close to you is what makes domestic violence such a horrible thing, and why we all should continue to do all we can to put an end to it for good. The pain my family experienced 15 years ago and a journey filled with so many ups and downs is why I have devoted myself to this cause. But my voice is not enough. It will take all of us coming together to break the silence in order to break the cycle. I want us to use tonight as a call to action. If each of us does a little, it won't be so much on a few, and we can really start to make a difference. Your time and your resources is needed, and I encourage each and every one of you to find a local organization to get behind and support. See, together we can do this. Together we can make a difference. Together we can ensure that not another name is added to this list next year. As I close tonight, I also want to take a moment to celebrate all the women, men, and children who have moved beyond abuse. Your story is important too, and your voice matters. You're here for a reason, and we need you in this fight also. And to anyone still suffering in silence, know that you are loved and you are needed, and you don't have to journey alone. We're here for you. And with that, I say good night, thank you, and may God continue to bless us all.
This next song's an original called She Is God. To be young and to be lovely is a precious thing. To have nothing but two lips that burn and a mind that sings. To possess the holy knowledge of just what is poisoning. All the water, all us women have no option but to bring, yeah. recognition to the women who can recognize well in a woman rising higher due to a spiritual health. She is real and she is living, not a statue on a shelf, greeting strangers with the love that she has grown inside herself. Yeah. Because who is she? Who is she? She is God. Because who is she? Who is she? Oh, she is God. Oh, she is God. Oh, she is God. No, 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 she is God. God, yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. Pitted against one another, we are told that there is no more room. But my sister, daughter, mother, there is space for two to bloom. If you speak, then I will listen. We can teach the children too. Why be meek when born to glisten? Stranger, I have a love for you. Yeah. Because who is she? Who is she? Oh, she is God. Because of who does she think that she is? Oh no, she is God. Oh, she is God. Oh, she is God. No, 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 she is God. God, God. Fear not of angels, fear not of men, fear not tradition of sword nor pen. Fear not false prophets, yeah, who claim to know. They're gonna get what's coming, yeah, from down below. Because who is she? Who is she? Oh, she is God. Because of who does she think that she is? Oh no, she is God. Oh, she is God. Oh, she is God. No, 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 she is God.
Now it is with the greatest respect that I introduce our keynote speaker tonight. She suffered the unimaginable this past July, the murder of her daughter Yasmin after years of abuse. Years during which Yasmin tried and tried again to take measures to protect herself and her young son. Still, as part of her own healing, Yasmin's mom graciously agreed to share her daughter's story. She is committed to making sure that her daughter's voice continues to be heard. I am deeply honored to welcome Karen Uyar of Highland Park.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Uyar, and I'm Yasmin Uyar's mother. My daughter Yasmin, who we called Yazi, and my grandson Sebastian were abducted on July 8th by Sebastian's father, who she had a 6-year-long domestic violence relationship with. Sebastian was located on Sunday morning, July 10th, in Monterey, Tennessee. Yazi's remains were located that same night, also in Monterey. Yasmin was like any other young 24-year-old mother. She was just looking to raise her son, work a job, and have a normal life. She had a great sense of humor. She loved her cat, loved fashion, and loved makeup. I can't remember the last time I saw Yazi without her makeup being perfect. One day when I was frustrated waiting for her when we were going out, I asked her, "Why does your makeup have to look so perfect every day when you leave the house?" And she told me, "I never want people to see what I'm going through on the inside. I always want to look like I'm put together to the outside world." Unfortunately, her outside world was not a reflection of her inside world. For most of her adult life, Yazi had been in a domestic violence relationship, a relationship where she was physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and financially abused. She was beaten, strangled, spit on, threatened, her head put through a wall, and finally abducted and brutally murdered. After she was murdered, she was stuffed half naked into a duffel bag and placed in the trunk of her own car, driven around for days until he disposed of her on a mountain road in Monterey, Tennessee. Her journey through domestic violence is like so many other young women. She did all the things that people tell you to do. She got a restraining order. She went to the police. She went to her domestic violence advocate for help. She did all those things and more, but every time the system failed her. Each time she wasn't believed, not listened to, or made to feel like she was less important. It's no wonder that domestic violence victims hesitate to report assaults because the stigma attached to it is shame, weakness, and embarrassment. Why is this a crime? A crime where the victim has to hope the officer that they get when they go to report an assault treats them with respect. As a family, it was hard to watch, but we supported her choices the best that we could. We had a code word. It was a single word that she could text me or her sister any time of the day or night, and we knew that he was there and that she feared for her life. She had moved 8 times in the last 18 months. Hotels, Airbnbs, apartments. He stalked her constantly, locating her at hotels, busting through her bedroom window at an Airbnb, showing up at her apartment. He was relentless. Reporting it did little. A few days in jail, the most. Is there any other crime that you could repeatedly commit and still get a reduced sentence for? Is there any other crime of violence that you could repeatedly commit in front of a child that allows for no punishment on behalf of the child's well-being? Meanwhile, Yazi lived the last 18 months of her life in a constant state of alert, always fearful of his acts of retaliation, always looking over her shoulder, always having the people in her life know that they too would be subject to his stalking and outbursts. On July 8th, she was 2 days away from moving again when he entered her apartment. She was tired of moving, but she was happy for a fresh start in a location that nobody knew about but us and her best friend. She would be able to feel some sense of safety. The system that she went to for help completely failed. It didn't fail because there were no laws in place. It failed because no one cared to enforce the laws that were there. Do the laws need to be reformed, changed, updated? Yes, absolutely they do. But there are still laws in place now that should have been used to protect Yazi and every other domestic violence victim like her. Domestic violence victims shouldn't have to play Russian roulette with their lives when they go to report a domestic violence assault, just hoping that they get the right person that believes them and enforces the law. The people in power need to hear this loud and clear. Domestic violence is a life-threatening crime. Life-threatening. My child's life was threatened and ultimately take it for the system to fight for change that can force accountability from courts, police, judges, lawyers, probation departments. Fight for no plea deals and longer sentences for repeat offenders. Fight for sentences for offenders who commit domestic violence acts in the presence of a child. Fight for themselves, fight for their lives. I can't bring Yazzie back. I can't hear her voice. I can't hear her voice anymore, but I can be her voice. I can continue to fight her fight. There's power in numbers, and we have the numbers to demand change if we stand together. I pray for each and every one of you. Thank you.
On behalf of all of us gathered here tonight, thank you, Karen, for your courage, your faith, and your commitment to making Yasmin's voice heard. All of us at Women Aware stand with you. At this time, I invite you to join me and the students in the Respect Life Club at St. Joseph High School in Metuchen in lighting a candle in remembrance of Yasmin and every victim whose life was stolen by domestic violence over the past year. May they rest in peace as we send our thoughts and prayers to the families and friends left behind. To all survivors and your families, know that we stand with you in your journey beyond abuse. May our candles be symbols of hope for a future free of violence.
In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them.
In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them.
In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them.
In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them.
In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them.
In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them.
As long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now part of us as we remember them.
When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them.
When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them.
When we have joys that we crave to share, we remember them.
When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them.
When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them.
So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now part of us as we remember them.
Thank you to Women Aware's Director of Client Services, Malia Janjua, and supporter Kalman Barson for reading a litany of remembrance.
As our program draws to a close, and on behalf of Women Aware, I offer thanks to all the sponsors and donors whose generosity ensures that free and confidential services continue to be available for survivors moving beyond abuse in Middlesex County. To all of you who have not yet donated, now's your chance. Every gift helps, no matter the amount. It takes a community to save lives, and we need you to be part of this community. Remember, there are 4 ways to give. Click the donate button on our Give Butter event site. Visit womenaware.net and click the donate button there. Text to donate at the number on the screen, 202-858-1233, and use code WA2021. You can also mail a check directly to Women Aware. Thank you all for being here with us tonight.
On behalf of Women Aware, thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening. Please enjoy one last song from Sami Stevens and have a good night.
can be sure I'll never stop believing. A blushing rose, it'll climb. Spring ahead, a fall behind. Winter dreams the same dream every time. But darling, you can never hold back spring. And even though you lost your way, the world is dreaming of spring. So close your eyes, open your heart to the one who's dreaming of you. 'Cause baby, you can never hold back spring, yeah. Remember all the joy, remember all the joy that spring can bring. Darling, you can never hold back spring. You can never hold back spring.